Hi everyone, welcome to Have You Heard. Now, on yesterday's video, you might, if you watched, have heard me say that I wanted to get back to championing the underdogs and playing more music that's not really appearing on the YouTube reaction channels. It's what we wanted to do in the first place, really. Now, I've had a few comments back with some suggestions, and I will be following up on those. However, the underdogs don't necessarily have to be the artists. They could be songs, lovely songs that just don't get listened to, or even albums, and even albums by well-known established artists. And today we are going back to one of the greatest artists of them all. We're going back to Joni Mitchell. We haven't played her in a little while, and we're going back to an album that I think is the most underrated and underappreciated Joni Mitchell album, full stop, and that's For the Roses. And I've been doing some research on YouTube, and there must be half a dozen songs on this album, beautiful songs that have not been reacted to on YouTube. Everyone, as a couple of my commenters said yesterday, everyone goes for the same old stuff all the time. So I think we do need to mix it up a little bit. So today we are going to be listening to the final track on For the Roses, Judgement of the Moon and Stars, in brackets Ludwig's tune. It is gorgeous. And, you know, this album kind of gets sandwiched in between Blue and in between Court and Spark as a transitional album. But it's so much better than that. Yes, you can hear some instances of where she's moving towards Court and Spark and the albums that followed, but the songs stand up for themselves. We've already done, really early on in the channel, we already did Songs of Blue Steel and Sweet Fire, my absolute favourite song on the album. But this one isn't so far behind. We'll talk about it more afterwards. But in the meantime, let's take a listen to Judgement of the Moon and Stars, Ludwig's tune, the final track from For the Roses, which was released in November 1972 and reached number 11 in the US charts. Didn't reach the charts in the UK, but those heights were to follow. Okay, here we go. Let's take a listen to this absolutely beautiful song.
No tongue in the bell and the fishwives yell, but they might as well be mute. So you get to keep the pictures that don't seem like much. Cold white keys under your fingers. Now you're thinking that's no substitute. It just don't do it like the song of a warm body, love in your touch. In the court they carve your legend with an apple in its jaw, and the women that you wanted, they get their laughs. Long silk stockings on the bedposts of refinement. You're too raw, they think you're too raw. It's the judgment of the moon and stars, your solitary path. Draw yourself a bath. Think what you like to have for supper, or take a walk, a park, a bridge, a tree, a river. Revoked but not yet cancelled, the gift goes on in silence in a bell jar, still a song. Forest fire, you gotta spread your light like blazes all across the sky. They're gonna aim the hoses on you, show 'em you won't expire, not till you burn up every passion, not even when you die. Come on now, you gotta try. If you're feeling contempt, well then you tell it. If you're tired of the silent night, Jesus, well then you yell it. Condemned to wires and hammers, strike every chord that you feel. That broken trees and elephant ivories conceal.
As Neil Young said, probably the greatest artist of our generation. What a beautiful, beautiful song. This album, For the Roses, there we are again. It came after a year just about of Joni in solitude out in British Columbia. She lived in a little stone cottage with one room and a loft, trying to get over and recover from everything that had happened after the Blue album. All of the public adulation, all of the brutality almost of that album, of her baring her soul and exposing all of her worries and neuroses and whatever else she had to the whole world. Suffering breakups of relationships with James Taylor and Jackson Browne and all of that stuff. She just wanted to get away, and she found herself in this little cottage out in the woods. And I don't know how these things happen. I wish I knew more detail about it. But she found herself with a book written by J.N.W. Sullivan about Beethoven. It was called Beethoven, His Spiritual Development, and it had been written in 1927. And it dealt with the way that Beethoven tried to deal with his struggles, with his deafness, with his worries about perceiving what his audience felt about his music. And it struck such a chord with Joni because she was worrying about the same stuff. She'd had this huge success with Blue, but it had all got too much. And she wondered also whether she'd be kind of like a one-hit wonder almost. Would the people come back to listen to her again? Would anything match up to Blue? So she went away and worried about it and started reading this book, and she sort of felt in tune, I guess, with the struggles that Beethoven had. She's quoted as saying, "I spoke to Beethoven and to myself at the same time, and I said, I said to him," she said she spoke to Beethoven and said, "You've got to deal with it. You've got to keep going in spite of your deafness, in spite of everything." And she said the same thing to herself, not so much about her deafness, of course, but about the fact that she just has to keep going, keep on going, and it'll be okay if you stay true to yourself. And it's a lesson that can be learnt by so many people, by all of us, by me. And I think in the past I've done some things where I've said to myself, just keep on going. You will succeed in the end. You've just got to persevere. We all go through those kind of periods in our lives, don't we? Sometimes we don't try, sometimes we just let it go, and sometimes we do try. And those, of course, are the rewarding things, the rewarding times in our lives. Um, this lady speaks to me on so many levels, and is without doubt, in my mind, the greatest songwriter since the Beatles. uh, Musically, it's, although I love Cold Blue Steel and Sweet Fire, which is played on, of course, on acoustic guitar and features some of the most beautiful acoustic guitar ever, most of the album is piano based. And you can, particularly on this song, get the sense that she's developing a style. She's got Tom Scott there. I think for the first time was he on this album, playing woodwinds and flutes and reeds, and he's working with her on these arrangements that I think would probably come to fruition on Court and Spark with The Wonder That Is Down to You. But they're building that kind of relationship here, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's not just a song, it's a piece of music. It's not just an arrangement, it's a work. And this song has not been reacted to on YouTube. Nux, as they say in South Africa. Nothing. I don't know why that came in. Nothing at all. You've got the there's a couple of live versions, I think, and of course there are those lovely videos where people put images to the music, but there are no reactors talking about this song. Why not? Well, there you are. This is the kind of thing that I want to do. One of the kinds of thing that I want to do. Really top-rate artists, but their music that just doesn't get featured because everyone's listening to Big Yellow Taxi or A Case of You or such other wonderful songs. But there's so much more to listen to, and they're not getting into that. They're just hearing the top couple of percent of um, of the great stuff. Let me know on the comment section what you think. Do you like this particular song? What do you think of For the Roses? Do you agree with me it's underrated? Or is it not worth the excitement? Please let me know. Um, I think it is absolutely great, and there could well be more songs coming out of this album onto the channel. That being said, there's probably half a dozen songs on every Joni Mitchell album that should be on the channel that doesn't get reacted to. But we'll be listening to some of those in the future, I'm sure. In the meantime, I think that should be about it. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it, and perhaps if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. We've done Joni Mitchell songs below if you're a big fan. It's in the playlist down below, so have a good old look at some lovely stuff that we have there. But in the meantime, I'll say cheers for now, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on our next video, because we do one every day. But until then, have a great day. See you tomorrow. Cheers, everybody.